In 1960, when Domino's Pizza was first opened, the whole-day sale was only $14, but who knew that a newspaper-selling kid who neither got the support of his father nor the love of his mother would one day own more than 18,000 pizza outlets? But this victory was not simple in any way. The pizza store, which was started with a loan of money, saw mountains of countless problems in its journey of progress. Sometimes the brother would leave. Sometimes the entire savings would be seen as fraud. Sometimes as a partner's deception. And the name of the store opened was also someone else's name. The legal cases of millions of dollars and the viral video that played with the reputation that the owner of Domino's made after years. This is the story of Thomas Monaghan, who faced all these difficulties and built a billion-dollar empire from zero to start. Welcome back to InfoEdge's videos. On 25th of March 1937, Thomas Monaghan was born in a middle-class family in Michigan. His father was driving a truck, and his mother was working in a nursing school. At the age of 4, his father died, and his mother, who was not able to support the children, handed over Tom and his brother Jim to the government for 7 years. Tom's childhood was full of difficulties. He didn't see his father's support or his mother's love. He only saw the difficulties of government foster care and boarding school. He couldn't pass high school or college properly. He got admission to Michigan University with great difficulty, but unfortunately, he didn't have tuition fees. Life was giving him all kinds of shocks. Finally, he started giving newspapers at home. From here, he started learning the basics of business and didn't let go of any chance to save money. He was just a few cents away from seeing a little bit of his savings as a fraud. This was the point when in 1959, Tom's brother Jim came up with an idea, and this idea was going to change his life. Jim used to work as a robber in the post office, but to pay his expenses, he also worked part-time in a restaurant called Dominic DeWatte. Jim's boss had a restaurant closed in Michigan, and Dominic wanted to sell this restaurant at any cost. At that time, he was demanding $500 from the restaurant, but the condition was that the restaurant had a $2,000 loan that the buyer would pay. When Jim brought this news to Tom, they both thought, why not buy this restaurant and work together? They borrowed $900 from the post office and bought the restaurant from Dominic. But he didn't change his name. Dominic gave him some recipes and also taught him how to make sauce. He decided to open the restaurant from 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. This will not disturb Jim's post office job, and Tom's dream of studying in the university will also be fulfilled. They opened the restaurant on 9th of December 1960 and sold it for $14 in the first day. They didn't have a phone in the first week, meaning all the customers came to the restaurant by themselves. Then they started a delivery service for which they hired 2 factory workers on commission. After 4 months, their one-day sale reached $107. But these sales were mostly coming because of the nearby college. When the college semester was over, the sales fell to $28. Jim used to spend very little time on the restaurant because of his post office job. In fact, he didn't do any work. When sales dropped, the two brothers started fighting, and at one point there was a situation of a fight. After 8 months of opening the restaurant, Jim was separated from the restaurant, while in reality this idea was his. In return for 50% share, Tom gave him a Volkswagen and sold it, which he had bought for pizza delivery. Jim happily took the car and went to the side without knowing how much he had actually sold. Now Tom became the owner of the restaurant 100%, but this meant that now he had to work full-time. That is, his dream of going to university was again incomplete. He would stay in the restaurant for many days and spend the night eating burnt pizza. Slowly, the restaurant sales started to increase again. He also kept 2 helpers, and now the daily profit reached $50. He used to visit other pizza stores and do market research in his free time. Meanwhile, the owner of an Italian restaurant became his friend, and he gave his famous sauce recipe to Tom. When Tom applied this recipe on Dominic, people liked the sauce very much, and sales went up again. Now Tom was given an idea to open another branch of his restaurant, but for this, Tom needed a partner to run his previous restaurant because now his brother was also not with him. Finally, Tom got a partner, but this partner was going to ruin all Tom's hard work. One day, a man named Jim Gilmore came to Dominic, whom Tom immediately recognized. He ran a well-known restaurant in the city. While both the restaurants were talking about business, Tom told Gilmore his plans to open a new branch. Now, because Gilmore also had the experience of running a restaurant, that's why both of them made a deal. In the deal, it was decided that Gilmore would get 50% share in the business by giving $500, and he would run Dominic's first restaurant. But Gilmore said that he doesn't have $500 and he will pay it later. But because Tom needed a partner, he agreed. Dominic's 50% partner had become Gilmore without any down payment, and he didn't pay it to Tom later. Tom opened his second branch and handed over the first branch to Gilmore. This was the point when Tom realized his mistake. Because he had given 50% of his business to an unknown person without investigation. The sales of the first branch and the pizza quality of the restaurant were falling, and Tom suspected that Gilmore was secretly stealing money from the cash drawer. Jim Gilmore ran 2 restaurants in the city, but he was used to drinking, and because of which he was bankrupt twice. Tom thought that maybe he has improved, but it was not so. In addition, Gilmore added some conditions to the agreement with Tom, which made him the 50% share partner of profit in Dominic's, while the loss will be Tom's loss. Now the situation came that Tom started to spend time on both branches, and he worked whenever Gilmore wanted. In short, Gilmore was taking the wrong advantage of Tom. Tom also talked about ending the agreement with him many times, but due to legal issues, he could not get rid of Gilmore. Finally, the matter went to court, and then Tom and Gilmore's partnership ended. But obviously the loss that happened behind was all Tom had to pay. But this did not mean that all of Tom's problems were over. The next fight took place with a person whose name Tom was running his business. Dominic's devotee. Dominic's devotee saw that Tom was running 2 restaurants under his name and making good sales, so he started to have professional jealousy. Finally, Dominic was also running a restaurant under his name, and this caused a lot of confusion for customers. So he called Tom and told him to stop using his name. This news fell on Tom like lightning because he had put his blood and sweat into promoting this name. Suddenly changing the name meant that all of Tom's hard work would be wasted. Someone advised Tom to name someone who is similar to Dominic, because at that time people used to look for numbers in the phone book, and when there will be a similar name, then there will be a name of Tom's restaurant on the page of Dominic. For many days, Tom and his team kept thinking of a name similar to Dominic, but no one understood. Finally, a pizza writer suggested a name, and that was Domino's. Tom liked this name very much. After that day, he started working with the name of Domino's instead of Dominic's. The meaning of changing the name was that now they will have to change the logo too. So they simply started using the tile of the domino game as the logo. And because at that time they had 3 stores, they put only 3 dots in the tile. Next time you can tell anyone what these 3 dots mean in the logo of Domino's. Thomas Monahan's pizza business had now got a new name. He worked hard to improve the recipe and make the business profitable, but the development of Domino's began with a strange incident. One day, many staff members of the restaurant took a day off. Tom removed extra items from the menu and served pizza. This day, Domino's was the most profitable. Tom realized that a larger menu only increases the workload, whereas a smaller menu makes more profit. After that day, extra items were removed from the menu and only pizza was focused. Even pizza was kept in 2 sizes, 8-inch and 12-inch. Apart from this, Tom noticed that customers have to keep extra staff by giving them a dining facility, which increases the work and reduces the profit. Tom used the boxes to heat the pizza and revolutionized the delivery business. Not only that, but also improved the service by using delivery pouches. Remember that the delivery pouches that had pizza in them were introduced by Domino's for the first time. Due to new innovations in delivery, Domino's took the game against other restaurants. Competitors, like the Pizza Hut branches, most of the area seemed to be for dining facilities, whereas the prices of Domino's were the same and their profit margin was high because they did not have to spend on dining facilities. Tom had been in this business for 7 years now, and Domino's was growing fast in comparison to others. In 1967, he thought of franchising. New stores were opened, whose location was kept close to colleges and military bases, where pizza was normally in high demand. To advertise instead of wasting money on mainstream media, ads were put on college newspapers, which were cheap and more effective. In the next 2 years, 32 franchises of Domino's were opened. In the beginning, there were quality issues, but later they were fixed. At the end of 1969, 42 stores were opened in Michigan, Vermont, and Ohio, and more than 200 Domino's outlets were opened in the United States by 1978. It was very difficult to stop the success of Domino's now, but then an incident happened that caused a lot of damage to Domino's. In the 1980s, everyone was crazy about Domino's delivery service. Seeing them, Pizza Hut and other competitors also started focusing on delivery. That is, Pizza Hut was now wanting to come directly into Domino's competition. To keep himself apart from this, Domino's took a plunge to make its best delivery service even more magnificent. In 1984, Domino's started marketing that if pizza delivery did not take 30 minutes, then pizza would not be paid. This plunge forced Domino's sales to rise like a rocket. This deal was beneficial for customers in every respect. Either they will get pizza quickly or get it for free. This campaign helped Domino's to grow even more. In the 1980s, Domino's 200 branches in America now reached 5,000 globally, and it became the world's fastest-growing restaurant chain at that time. But Tom didn't know that this trick was going to fall on Domino's neck. In 1989, Domino's 17-year-old delivery driver crashed his truck in an accident and died on the spot. This incident was reported in the newspapers, and it was written that the 17-year-old man died in an attempt to deliver pizza quickly. Obviously, drivers used to go against the rules and drive the car fast to get there quickly. This news started to highlight in national magazines as well. A report was published that in 1 year, 20 fatal accidents have occurred due to fast delivery of Domino's. In another incident, the driver had a car on a couple, which caused the wife's death on the spot. Because of this incident, Domino's had to pay a fine of $32 million. In 1993, another case came when the driver of the Domino's drove the car without caring about the red light, and the girl's backbone in the next car broke. This time, the court fined the Domino's $78 million. Due to all these incidents, a lot of criticism was made on the Domino's delivery service. The campaign that had brought the Domino's to this height of progress was now in their hands. At this point, Tom announced the end of the 30-minute delivery campaign. Obviously, when any business is famous, it also becomes controversial. First, the driver's accident, and then the Domino's Foundation. Because of all this, Thomas Monahan sold Domino's in $1.1 billion in 1998, but the controversy did not end. In 2009, a video went viral on YouTube in which 2 Domino's workers were seen making pizza in a very unhygienic way. Sometimes they would spit on the pizza and put it in the oven. Sometimes they would put their finger in their nose and knead the pizza dough with their own hands. A total of 5 videos like this were uploaded on YouTube, which shocked the reputation of Domino's among pizza lovers. Domino's contacted YouTube and requested to delete the videos, but YouTube refused. Finally, those workers were searched, which was not such a difficult task because their faces were visible in the video. They told that they were actually making a prank video while no such pizza was sent to any customer. Due to this small joke of the workers, Domino's had to take a lot of damage. But today, Domino's has 18,548 branches worldwide, more than Pizza Hut's 145 branches. If we talk about employees, Domino's has only 13,500 and Pizza Hut has 350,000. Domino's generates 4 times more sales than Pizza Hut in revenue. Here I also want to tell you that there are 300,000 Domino's pizzas made daily in the world. And Domino's chef, Zagros Chaff, has recorded the world's fastest pizza maker twice in his name, who surprised the world by making 3 large pizzas in just 70 seconds. I hope you will like and share this video of InfoEdge. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.